It's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody move.
We are in a state of emergency. Prejudice. Wrote a song about it? Like to hear it? Here it go. Free your mind.
Maisha ni ya ghetto, msaliti ni petro, sheria muna kwao, wazimu pia na hao, furaha sio mfano, ukabila ndio kwao. Hapo nishafika, ukweli na hakika, kadiri ninashika, furaha kwa lahiki, wenda kwa mashabiki, raji kuziki, beef na fiki, hit na dhiki, muda muna wiki.
Hey, my brother, you know I had to call you and thank you personally again. I cannot describe to you how happy I was to meet you in person finally. That was just like amazing.
Self, and you don't realize it. You don't realize it that God has been imprisoned. The devil was able to imprison God. So right inside your own self, your God self has been imprisoned, and you have a false sense of self running rampant inside the temple. This is why, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
We have to bring reality's temple here on earth. Reality's temple here on earth, because
Yes, sir.
we have to realize the enemy is running rampant inside this temple, and we have to recover.
And things on paper that say, if you do this, we're going to punish you by incarcerating you, and you break them and you're dumb enough to get caught, then you're just dumb.
All right. Shout out to Reality's Temple in the building. Well, just for myself, I got to get him on here, man. You talk about somebody polarizing. Whoa. that brother is, I'll leave that alone. Shout out to the brother, though. Just
To ring out in perfect harmony, Terry Ellis becomes the first of the divas to offer the world her singular sound. And she does just that on Southern Gas.
Peace, prayer, and knowledge.
I'm Soul Sister J.
I'm Soul Sister D.
And I just wanted to say thank you for all the people who helped to the medical fundraiser for my uncle Taalik. And it has meant so much to us that you would help, because without you guys, his life would not be possible and we would not be with him today right now. And I just wanted to say, for all of you that helped and that donated, I would really like to give a big thanks, and I hope that I can meet you one day and say thank you in person. I love you guys, and next.
I trust that feeling. Does anybody have any questions of me before I get out of here? Let's see what you guys are saying. What's up, Soul Sister Rona? Hey, Taalik. I'm the brother that did Mike Jackson in Tunica, Mississippi. Hey, now. Hello to Terry. Respect. Bless up. Bless up. Bless up.
Gomane. Assemble the people, Gomane. We will not be defeated by witch doctors' illusions.
Everybody who is black and interested in black people, let us sit down and find out how we can get together in one direction against one enemy and accomplish this job overnight.
In the year 2019, black folks continue to go through the change rather than direct the change. A community activist named Taalik Ibn'rad has made an appeal similar to what Sam Cooke was asking for. A change. It's said that the meek shall inherit the earth. We ask when. When will the landlords give the meek a free lease? Mr. Ibn'rad is humbly asking for the state of Mississippi. This is Dusty Basement Studios, and we approve of this message.
And that is Brother Taalik from the Reality Temples on Earth channel. And if you get a chance to subscribe, please do subscribe to his channel. He's a good brother. You know, he's doing good work, and he wants to do good constructive things. He has good information to provide. So please do check out his channel if you get a chance.
Welcome to the Reality Temple on Earth. My name is Jeroen, and I would like to say that Angel Snub7 isn't a racist at all. He's a good friend.
But you, a lot of your video content to me was very informative. You know, the things you talked about had substance, man, and I first really knew about you because of JT Raleigh 1, Real Nigga News, and you and him got into a conflict with each other, and when I did my website, you were the only brother, and let me stress that. Because when I did that website, blackcommune.net, and I did the video and I asked the black YouTube community, the so-called black YouTube community, to give me your videos. Because at the time, a lot of brothers were getting flagged and videos taken down. So I said, you know what? You can put your videos on my website so that the message can still be heard for all to hear. You know, something like, you know, a little I made that website for everyone, but you were the only one that gave me permission to use your videos, and I thought that was very honorable of you and really a testament to how much you cared about the black community.
My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody.
In a state of emergency. Prejudice. Wrote a song about it? Like to hear it? Here it go. Free your mind.
What dear?
Cause I keeps it real like that. I keeps it real.
Just keep it going.
He's watching Hello Neighbor, and he is enjoying the hell out of himself. This is the first weekend that he's been this good, really this good. You know, I mean, as his mama drops him off because she sincerely needs a break from this kid. That's how active he is. But anyway, I had to get on here and say that I know a lot of you guys don't really like Angel Nup Nup 7. You know, you made some derogatory videos about him and everything. But I've been hearing about this Kavanaugh guy and some white man talking about that black people are going to riot if he gets confirmed for the Supreme Court. But, you know, this is my feelings about what this society is doing and how it looks to black people when Donald Trump became president, and then he is literally moving people that think the way he do into positions that can affect the lives of not just black people, but everybody. See? And the reason I bring up Angel Nup Nup 7 in this is because everybody say his idea is a stupid one. But I want to challenge you on how his idea is any different than what Donald Trump is doing with his own people. Donald Trump is literally taking over states, not just a state, but states, countries, or a country. And he is doing that by moving people into high places that think like he do. And that is all Angel Nup Nup 7 has been saying, is to get people that think like he does, because I'm going to tell you the truth, he really does care about black women and black men, black people as a whole. He really does care. But what he has been talking about is getting black people into positions that think like he does, that can do something for black people. That's what he's talking about. But we're so busy focusing on the petty of that You know, because I think he's really on a higher level when it comes to that thought process. But some of the videos have been made are on the petty, like saying, well, you know, his idea is close to these people that's saying, let's move to Africa. His video is saying that he's not going to move to Mississippi himself. So y'all thinking about the physical move that a person has to make a move. So I think he is really operating on a higher plane, but unfortunately, many of us are not getting that. See, look at the black people so far, the Sharptons, and who was it, the Jacksons, that have been put in office to represent black people. Let's even talk about Obama, the product of a swirl, okay? To represent black people. And once they get there, they have been truly self-serving. When black people get into office, we don't think about, serving one another because we're afraid we're going to lose that paycheck. See? But you got a Donald Trump, you got a Kavanaugh, you got all of these people that, that I can't name off the top of my head, that he maneuvers into positions that can create laws that can either have a positive or a negative effect on your life. And then when this brother, and I call him a brother of mine, comes up with Exodus, Mississippi, many of us are so small-minded that we think that that's an actual move for black people to go to Mississippi. Even though he said that, yes, I agree with you. He said that that's a safe haven for black people to come and feel safe. But the overall message that has been missed is to get black people into positions that think like him and that will sincerely and honestly and not be afraid to be a ēt terna. And I thank you for your time.
In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of what I call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the gatekeeper or the host of this program, known here on social media. Wherever you may find me, I am known as the mighty, mighty, mighty Angel Snub 7. I am your soul brother, number one, and hopefully your friend Taalik Ibn'rad. Of course, many of us are familiar and we know of a show, an entertainment musical show called Soul Train. And at the end of every one of these programs, the host, the late Don Cornelius, would always say in parting, I wish us love, peace, and soul. Our sisters are the funky divas of soul. Now, in this greeting, we have the word peace. I wish us love, peace, and soul. Many of us on social media and in our lives, probably because of religion, spirituality, we greet each other in peace. I was taught in the Nation of Islam to greet a brother or a sister in the words of peace, Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be unto you. And many of these greetings, they refer to this word peace. Peace. Now, I have a problem, not with the word peace, but our hypocrisy behind the word. We use the word to hide who we really are. I have picked up the mantle from our soul brothers and sisters. My being soul brother number one, you don't want that title. It's not good enough for you. So I will take it and make it mine from our brother James Brown, the godfather of soul, the original soul brother number one. I will take those words from Don Cornelius because they are not worthy of you. They're not good enough for you. So I will get back on the soul train and wish us love, peace, and soul. Peace and respect you, I tell you from this platform. Peace forever and always, I say from this platform. And when I say or greet you, peace forever and always, peace and respect you, I wish you love, peace, and soul. When I give you that greeting, I have no intent to bring you harm. I have no intent to cause you any injury. I have no intent. I don't go behind your back, wish you peace, love, and soul, then go behind your back and talk about you like a dog, like you're trash. Talk about taking your life and beating you up. There are those who have wished me peace and brotherhood, and then they turn around. I will meet you at your house and whip your ass. So it makes peace. We make the word peace just words, copying our enemy, because that's what they done in their conquering of this world by offering, I come in peace, but that peace is a lie. They use the word peace so that their victim will let their guard down so they can attack them more easier. That's why they use the word peace. I do not wish you peace and then behind your back tell you how nasty and trifling and whatever it is behind your back. I don't do that. There are those who know me. There are those who have been talking with me for years and years and years. I've never, even those of whom I dislike, I don't wish them peace and then go talk about them behind their back. I don't do that, because if I don't like you, I'm not going to wish you peace forever and never. I don't love my enemies. I don't like you. So if I wish you peace forever and always, and I view you as my brother or sister, I'm not going behind your back because there's something I don't like about you after I wish you peace. There are those who have wished Angel Snuffing Up 7 peace and talk about me behind my back, even to the point of physical harm. And their hatred has grown to the point where even these ladies on my wall, they attack a poster on my wall. I am not Black Power. I don't have to have pyramids behind me. I'm not Black Power. I don't have to have something that's supposed to, what's the word I'm looking for? Represent Egypt or Black Power or something like that. I'm not Black Power. Why can't I have my sisters behind me? They have so much hatred. Brother Malcolm X is one of the #1 examples. For 12 years, that's my brother. As long as he does and says what you believe he needs to say and do, that's my brother. As long as Malcolm X is your slave, so your peace and your brotherhood have strings attached, it's not real. So when Brother Malcolm began to do things I don't like, Brother Malcolm began to say things I don't like, Brother Malcolm disrespect my teacher, and the oppressor disrespect your teacher every damn day. The oppressor threw your teacher in jail for 5 years. Say he dodged the draft. And what did you do? Absolutely nothing. When I was in the St. Louis Temple, Brother Minister, the Honorable, let me make sure I say it right, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, his second man in command, his #2, the St. Louis Police Department beat the Muslims up in St. Louis. They came back to the temple all beat up, and they did nothing. They did nothing. But if I said something, if Brother Malcolm says something, oh, all hell breaks loose. They got to die. They hypocrites. But for years, you greeted me and Brother Malcolm, Assalamu alaikum. I have biological relatives and you call them family. And some of these biological relatives can be whack. But those who are not in a dysfunctional family setting, even when their biological relatives is in the wrong, even when their biological relatives is a dope head, a crack fiend, or whatever, they treat that relative a certain way. They stand with that relative till they just can't do it no more. Why? Why? Because of love. Because that's my family. That's my brother. That's my cousin. That's my mother. That's my family. But see, Brother Malcolm was just a tool to be used. He really wasn't a brother. He was just something I can use. Angel Snuffing Up 7 is just somebody I want to use. He's not really my brother. He's not really my family. You want somebody, you want somebody to kiss your backside 24 hours a day. Family is different. You cannot expect all family members to be the same. If your family is not dysfunctional, you will see them and all their dysfunction, but the dysfunction is under control because love makes it under control. But there's no love in our families, not no real love. We want to use people. You won the lottery. You didn't give me no money. I don't like the fact you had a baby by so-and-so. And the list goes on and on. There is no character. There is no integrity. There is no honesty. It's all perpetrating a fraud. And if you think that the masses of the people can't see you for what you really are, then you're blind. The masses of the people, I'm so happy that they are smart enough to ignore Hebrew Israelites and Comedics and foundational Black Americans and all this other nonsense that we got going, Nation of Islam. It's 40 million in this country. And you say they don't listen to Snuff 7, they're not listening to you either. You should be getting millions and millions of views, but you don't. Because the majority of the masses of the people are smart enough to ignore your happy ass. They see y'all ain't, you're a bunch of fakes and frauds. I applaud them. You want to attack En Vogue because En Vogue don't support none of your happy ass. Not interested. You can't connect with them. You have no connection with them because you own your own plantation. The only thing you want is slaves for your plantation. Just like the oppressor. You don't mean nobody no good. A bunch of vultures preying on the innocent. A bunch of scavengers eating from the dead. That's all they are. So these greetings of peace, assalamu alaikum and blah, blah, blah. Black Power family, you ain't no part of no family. They don't give a damn about you. Get sick and you need your bills paid and find out where your family at. Where your help at. People ain't your family. Natural Tahuti from the Sonetta channel laying in prison. Ain't nobody helping him. He's forgotten. Once they use you, they throw you away like toilet paper. I wish you love, peace, and soul because that's what I mean it. I'm not going behind your back and talk about you. And if you're my brother and sister, and even though we disagree, I'm not going to get angry at you. You need to die and invoke this and attack a post on the wall and all this old crazy stuff. I'm going to keep it real as possible as I can. Am I perfect? No. Can I be perfect? Chances are, no. But I'm going to do the best I can to keep it real. So when I come to you and say, I wish us love, peace, and soul, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I'm not talking about you behind my back. I want nothing from you except the best. Jot down your comments. Let's talk about it. Until next time, y'all. As important, I do wish us love, peace, and soul. We out. People all over the world.
donation icon. I got the answer. I can handle the hard question.
See, they say that Angel Snub 7 don't care about the people. But Angel Snub 7 cares about the people because I'm bold enough to tell you the truth, and I don't give a damn if you give me a dime. I'm not looking for your money. In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of what I call the Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the host or the gatekeeper of this program here on social media. Wherever you may find me, I'm known as the mighty Angel Snub 7. I am your soul brother number 1 and your friend Taalik Ibn'rad. Before this week comes to an end, or perhaps it is in the beginning of a new week, I wanted to say, because it would be a little while before I am able to upload again, I would like to speak on a comment that was given to me or directed at me, saying basically, who the hell you think you are? You think you are some kind of prophet? You think that who gives you the right or the power? You gonna start something brand new for black folks, and who the hell you think you are? Well, we want to talk about that for a few minutes. I wonder sometimes, and I would like to begin our conversation from a religious point of view, because I hear what you're saying, but I don't know if you really believe what you claim you believe. I really wonder if y'all truly believe in God. I really wonder that, because you don't really act like it. You really don't seem to have the confidence in God that you claim you have. In the scriptures, in both Bible and Quran, you see that the God, Allah, Yahweh, whatever name that you have chosen to believe in, but within these teachings, the God has a love for you and a concern and a care. In Christian teachings, God loved so the world that he would send to you and make a sacrifice, his only begotten son. The God loves you so much, he sends you prophets and messengers and warners so that you can better yourself, so that you don't continue to go and travel within darkness. And when we look at the scriptures, the God starts sending messengers and prophets to the people, and it does not stop. Even to the point in modern day times, we have Messenger Elijah Muhammad, which appeared in the early 1930s. Some say that he is self-proclaimed or whatever, but he's the messenger of God. This is the 1930s. So God has consistently sending prophets and messengers to the people. Now, Messenger Elijah Muhammad says that he is the last messenger. However, this does not stop the God from sending prophets and warners, or even just good-hearted people that he has chosen to do his will, whether they know it or not. Now, see, also, we must consider that whenever God sends a messenger, a prophet, and a warner, they are not embraced by the people. They are not embraced by the government. They become an enemy to the government. They become an enemy to the religious factions that already exist. They are rejected by the people because the prophets and the messenger are bringing information and a message never heard before that is contrary to the way of life, the mindset, and the thinking that the people are used to hearing. So Messenger Elijah Muhammad was rejected. Jesus was rejected. Jesus was rejected to the point that he found himself nailed to a piece of wood, crucified. There was nothing beautiful and fantastic about the life of a warner, a prophet, or messenger. Many of them wound up or ended up murdered by the people or the governments that they were sent to warn or bring a message to by the God. This is normal behavior. However, the message, the warning that is coming from the God or coming from these messengers and teachers, they are not coming to hurt the government, bring you warning to change your ways. They're not coming to hurt you. They are coming to give you a message because you are on a path of destruction. And there is mercy from this God. There is mercy and compassion to the point, instead of just allowing you self-destruction, give you an opportunity to save your life. I will say that again. Give you an opportunity to save your life. Because if you continue on the path that you're used to, accustomed to, the God sees way down the road. And your road leads to you falling off the road, down a cliff. And in nature, you see this over and over again. That's why some creatures you don't know nothing about, because they could not adapt to the environment. There was something they were doing wrong or could not do, and now they are extinct. I wonder if y'all believe in God. But just in nature itself, the brain, your DNA is set up in a manner that it strives to evolve and develop manners so that it can sustain itself and survive. You may see this in a troop of monkeys. I was watching a nature program, and monkeys do what monkeys do. And these monkeys were eating ants. And they would take the ants and one by one, they eat the ants. Then one day you saw, out of all these hundreds of monkeys, this one particular monkey took a stick and put the stick down in the hole of the ants. And the ants start attacking the stick and sticking to the stick. The monkey pulled the stick out of the hole. Instead of one ant, he had a whole gang of ants. and he ate the ants off the stick. While the traditional way, one by one, you mess around, try to eat the ants. This monkey would be an example of a messenger or a prophet sent to the people by God to show the people how to live a better life. Instead of eating one little ant at a time consuming or whatever, look what you can do. Take the little stick, put it down in the dirt, the ants attack it, bring it out, you have a lot of ants to eat. The purpose of God, the purpose to evolve is to make you a better survivor. It is not to hurt you. So that monkey made life better for his troop. And then they saw what this monkey was doing, and they began to copy, and now they can fill their bellies with the ants faster and get more in a less period of time. We fear new things. We fear a new way of life. We fear things we don't understand. There were people who did not like the car. There were people who did not like electricity. There were people, because these was things they were not used to. What's up with all this? Why I gotta do that? Now, excuse me, my telephone is ringing. It's throwing me off. But I want to say this to us. Still coming from a religious point of view. In the Quran and the Muslims, you are taught that the God, that Allah, and see, this is what you really have a problem with. It says in the Quran, or you are taught, I do believe it does come from the Quran, that Allah chooses whom he pleases. You think that everybody that God sends to us is supposed to be a Muslim. Where does it say that in the Quran? Where does it say that the God sends messengers and the prophets and all of them would be Muslims? Where does it say that in the Quran? Does not say that. It says clearly, Allah chooses whom he pleases. So why wouldn't God choose a person that y'all would call an atheist? And why would God want to choose an atheist anyway? Why would God want to choose somebody outside of being a Muslim? One reason is because you've been given the Bible. You've been given the Quran. You've been given these books. And you have failed God. You have not produced the heaven on earth that these books are supposed to bring. You have failed to change. In fact, you become like the people that you are supposed to change. You blend in with the wicked. There is no difference between you and those of whom you're supposed to change. And you really don't understand your teachings. You read the Quran and the Bible and you study, but you really don't understand what is being said. Your thinking is outdated. So somebody tells me, who you think you are? From a religious point of view, I am a prophet. In fact, many believers in God have called me a prophet. They have called me a messenger. I don't call myself that, but they recognize that a message is being brought to a people that is necessary because you are on the right path. And you even pray to Allah. You say, Allah, guide us on the right path. But then when your God tries to show you you are on the wrong path, then you reject it because the vessel that God has chosen to send to tell you about it, you don't like. You don't understand. But that's a personal problem, because if you claim that you know God, then you should know whether, no matter what that vessel is, you should recognize when God is sending you a message, when God is trying to do something for you. Because in religious teachings, it also says that God works through people. God works through whom he wants to work with. Y'all don't believe that. Especially when you believe that it should be you. It should not be you. It should be me. Why I can't be the messenger of God? Why I can't? Because it's not you. The monkey with the stick, that's what he done. It was not meant for the rest. The gift was given to him, and he shared that gift. So as the messengers and the prophets, the gift, the message was given to them by God, and they shared it with you. Not looking for praise. Jesus never looked for praise and celebrity. None of these prophets, you didn't hear them, it's all about me, I'm looking for. I believe Moses, was it Moses? Was it Moses? He got to the point where he began to believe it was all about him, and God had to check him real quick, and then he learned and kept doing what he was supposed to do. But it's not about, you're just a messenger. It just so happened that the gift came through this person. Just like whoever developed Microsoft, just like whoever developed whatever that we use every day. A vessel was used to bring forth information, and we share it with the world. It's not about celebrity and praising somebody and all this other madness. That's your sick mentality. I did not wake up yesterday, like many of you make YouTube videos. I did not wake up yesterday and talk about, I'm going to make a YouTube video. What you hear coming from this ministry took 40 years to develop. And then the frosting on the cake was self-thinking. Liberating the mind of all these other things that clog your brain's ability to think properly. Your mind is not thinking properly. That's why many of you can't comprehend and understand what I'm saying, because you're not able to think properly. But even so, just like the prophets, you either reject or you accept. It makes no difference. The mission of the prophet or the messenger is just to give you a message. That's all. No more, no less. You will suffer the consequences of your actions, as the monkeys would be living worse and not the better that they are experiencing, because they followed the lead of one that had vision, one that had creativity, one that was able to solve a problem they was having. So the gift that was supposed to go to you can easily go to someone else. I received many letters, emails rather, from people all over the world who understand exactly where I'm coming from. But the people that the message was supposed to be or supposed to be for, they reject because it's supposed to be me. And you don't understand what you're talking about. But others recognize. So the woman that you had a problem with, another man, she makes him an excellent wife. Could have made you an excellent wife. Excellent wife. But you didn't know what to do with her. You didn't understand her. So it's the same thing here. The Reality's temple is the beginning process of not waiting to die, but actually bringing into reality heaven on earth. That's all that it is. But a hellraiser wouldn't know that, right? We'll talk about this some more, y'all. Jot down your comments. Until next time, y'all.
I don't know why those guys stick with that guy.
I don't know, soul brother. I don't know how that name is hurting me. Then he says, I have a 90s boombox. I have a 90s boombox. I don't know what year these guys were born. Now that's a boombox. That is what you call a boombox. I don't have a boombox. But the boombox has been around since the mid 80s. And Twin Pyramid said I had now some 8 tracks. Let me educate these morons what a boombox look like. Because everything in my house is up to date. Everything in my house is up to date. Because everything, like I said, everything in my house is up to date. I want to say something real quick. He got one of his spies on here. This guy Twin. Yeah, he got one of his spies on here. Get the fuck off my. Don't come on my shit, B. I don't know who he called himself the Dinkin or whatever. Get your dick riding ass off my shit. Don't come on my shit. You're blocked. You're blocked. Get the fuck out of here.
You can have it as far as I'm concerned. Hey, you hear that? Radio. Coach Honeycutt says you can take that home with you if you like.
What my mom and dad taught me. Birds of a feather flock together. All them niggas is crazy, and that go for Miss Ann, the twins, and all the rest of them. And that's just how I feel. And y'all can do what y'all want to do. Come on at me.
Because everything in my house is up
what
to
I
date.
feel.
Oh,
because
no.
we have
What happened with Miss Ann? What happened with Miss Ann? What happened?
Miss Ann is all with Lauren. She's all with Lauren, Karen.
Everything, like I said, everything in my house is up to date.
Angel, just go on and do your thing. Start you another page. Get you another convention or whatever she was saying. You know, it's going to be all right.
I don't have
and all
a
this
boom
kind of stuff. But he come back saying, you know me. You know I live for this.
That's why I said I think it's him. That's why I said that.
Any crazy names like that, yes. You know, when you see Fat Albert and Barry.
Now that's a boombox. Yeah, Jerry Springer, all these others.
What's his name? Barry White. Oh, Barry White.
Yeah.
He using Luther Vandross and all them, so you know it's him because Luther Vandross and them are dead.
Yeah. Now that's a boombox. That's sick. That's sick.
He is very sick.
Using my Reese name. Going in folks' chat room under my Reese name.
Sad.
Well, for anybody out there that got any kind of bad rap from Aaliyah Muhammad, it was not me. That nigga probably been doing me the same way, going in different groups with my name and arguing with people and tripping on people because he got the information.
Volunteer to take this old bird out of her misery.
Yes. Don't you dare say something like that about Mama.
Oh, no, you ain't got to protect me from Cletus. Come on, Cletus. Come on. Come over here. Come on in. Where's your walk? Come over. Then you're going to limp back. You walk over, but you're limping back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Of course, this is the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the gatekeeper or the host of this program. Wherever you may find me, I am known as the Mighty One, Angel Snub 7, your soul brother number 1, and your friend, Taalik Ibn'rad. Well, what are we going to speak about today in these next few minutes? Well, I wish to bring to us this topic, and many of us are familiar with these few simple words that came from the rostrum of the Nation of Islam, in which they asked all of us who are the descendants of slaves born in America having dark skin, the Negro, the African Americanus, the colored people, whatever you want to call yourself. Well, actually, what somebody called you. All these names you did not call yourself. These are names and labels that somebody else put on you that you accepted. The Nation of Islam says, or teaches, or tells us, accept your own and be yourself. However, according to that teaching, yourself and your own is being a righteous Muslim. I beg to differ. I don't agree. Civilly. I'm not angry with you. I disagree with you, and I'm going to offer you of why this is an error. In order to be yourself, in order to accept your own, you must first learn who you are. What is this self? Self is being unique. We may come from the same mother, have the same father. We come from the very same womb. However, I am not like you, and you are not like me. We are unique. However, if I try to copy you, if I try to mimic you, then I am denying myself. So I am not accepting my own as an individual. I'm not being myself. I'm trying to be like my big brother. I'm trying to be like my cousin O.J. Simpson. I'm not trying to be myself, because being yourself means you are being true to who you are, what makes you unique. So as a group of people, well, first of all, we need to become, that's right, groups of people. We are groups of people, the so-called black community. We are not one. We are called a people, but we are not. We are in these little tribes, these little groups. The Comedics over here, the Nubians over there, the Hebrew Israelites, the Christians and Muslims. Everybody is doing their own thing, not acting as a community, as one. This is why you always hear people talk about, man, we need black unity. We need black unity. How are you going to accomplish having black unity when you can't accept the differences in us? You want everybody to be like you. All the Christians want all soul brothers and sisters to be Christians. All the Muslims want all the soul brothers and sisters to be Muslims, and the Comedics want everybody to direct your lineage, your background to ancient Egypt. You cannot handle that we are different. And even, let's say for instance, even if everybody was the same, you're still going to have to deal with differences, because you might like apples, but I don't. Yeah, I believe in Jesus, but I don't like apples. You believe in Jesus, I believe in Jesus. You like apples, I don't like apples. And many times, something simple as that can cause serious problems because we are different. We can't handle the differences. We want everybody to be like what we are. We want everybody to embrace what makes us unique rather than what makes them unique as an individual. This is a problem. This is selfishness. This is being arrogant. This is being unnatural because the world, the reality that we live in is diverse. You can have a blackbird, but there are many varieties and different kinds of blackbirds. You can have a bear, but there are all kinds of bears, all kinds of different grasshoppers and ants. The world that we live in is diverse. And the world that you're talking about a clone world. It's an artificial world. At one time in nature was a clone. But when you become a clone, you become limited. So when nature evolved to make life diverse, when life becomes more diverse, it has more of a chance to be able to survive and live and thrive on this planet. Contrary to being a clone. Let me say this to us very quickly. As my time gets ready to expire, I want to make these points real quick. Our soul brother, Michael Jackson, was influenced. He was influenced by Jackie Wilson, James Brown, and other people. He did not copy Jackie Wilson. He did not mimic Jackie Wilson. You could see that in his early days when he was a child. You could see he was trying to copy a little bit James Brown, Jackie Wilson. You could see that. But eventually Michael Jackson came into his own and he became Michael Jackson. And if you did not know, or if he did not tell you that he was influenced by Jackie Wilson, James Brown, and so forth, you wouldn't even have no idea because he did not copy them or mimic them. He began to express what made him unique. He's Michael Jackson. And this is our problem here. We are trying to be somebody that we've never been, trying to mimic and copy somebody else rather than be yourself and accept who you are. Our first problem is that we did not name ourselves African-Americaners. Well, they said Jesse Jackson came up with that or whatever. It's two continents. How are we two continents? What are you talking about? That don't make any sense. But you're looking at a people so confused and divided and messed up. Maybe it's a good label because that label is confusing and screwed up, and so are the people that it's supposed to describe. Colored, Negro, and even African. There is no dark-skinned people on this planet that call themselves black, colored, Negro, or African. All this is a racist construct. These are labels that a conqueror put on those of whom he created or conquered. And I said created because the so-called Negro in America, the descendants of slaves born in America, we are a created people. We are hybrid mutant people produced by slavery. Our ancestors could be almost any type of dark-skinned person. The slave master did not give a care. The only thing he was concerned about was having labor done and somebody to serve him in the most perfect manner he could gain. And that's what we are. That's why it's easier for us to attack and degrade ourselves rather than the slave master because he's your daddy. And we know this subconsciously. Our DNA tell us that's daddy. You don't want to get daddy upset. Oh man, you bull, man, I don't want to hear that. Well then tell me, how come you still living with your daddy? When your daddy says it's time to leave here, you can get, oh no, this is my country. This is my land. This is my. But your daddy run the land. Your daddy control the land. And the daddy gonna kill you. The daddy gonna murder you. The daddy gonna discriminate against you. The daddy is gonna do all kinds of horrible things to you. You need to get the hell out of your daddy's house. But oh no, why you think you act that way? Because he's the God that created you. Yeah. I know it hurts. I know it hurts. We don't want to accept the reality of things. That's the reason why. He's family. Oh, well, I know it hurts. The reality of it. But regardless, if you call yourself African, colored, Negro, all these names that you did not create, basically what you're telling the world is you and I are still a slave. What's the sense of many of us changing our name? Oh, I'm getting out of the white man's name. You're getting out of the white man's name, but you talking about black power, African spirituality. These are terms rooted in Caucasian, pink, white supremacist racism. So actually, you're defeating the purpose. The only thing you did was change racism, the color of racism. That's all you did. There's nothing unique about it. However, I always like talking about this. It comes from the Quran. It talks about Allah and the enemies of Allah, those who plan against Allah. They plan, but Allah also plans, and Allah is the best of planners. See, your enemy called you African, your enemy called you colored, and labeled you all these different things. The enemy knows exactly what what and who we are. They know. You don't know. But nature, in and of itself, just due to the natural evolution of the human being, as we evolve in this country, the descendants of slaves born in America, of course we knew about black. We were called that. But also rising to the top, also coming up in us was something called soul. And from that expression of soul, whatever that is, we began to embrace it. So in the 60s, 70s, and maybe all the way into the 90s, we still was expressing, we are the people of soul. Not because of music. This was something that we created, has nothing to do with racism. It was an expression, an attempt to identify a people. Because you can be committed, but you can still have soul. You can be a Christian, but you can still have soul. You can be a black Muslim, and you can still get on the soul train. See? It's the umbrella. It's the glue that can put all these who are in groups under one umbrella to become a people outside of that which divided and destroyed you and made you what you are, that race garbage. We need to get up out of race. And what soul does is take us up out of the race. Soul is not concerned with light skin, dark skin, no skin, male or female. You are under the umbrella of soul, and you are not judged, and you are not looked upon due to the color of your skin. So when we call ourselves soul brothers and sisters, we begin to take ourselves up out of that which caused our problem in the first place, which was racial discrimination, racial supremacy, one race over another. It takes us up. It takes us out of race, period. Because you don't need to be part of that. So when I present to us, this is how you need to do. This is how we need to go. You want to reject, but you really can't reject because it's not coming from me. If it was me saying it, oh, nigga, what the hell are you talking about? This came from our ancestors. You always talk about the ancestors do this and the ancestors develop soul, but you reject it. Accept your own and be yourself. You don't want to accept your own. Your own gave us a gift. It gave you soul. And you need soul because you are dead people and you need the soul to be brought back to the body to bring you back to life. And since the time that soul was taken away from us, we stopped directing our attention to soul. You have become dead again. Because at one time, the whole world looked at us as a happy, lively people. Yeah. And they actually wanted to copy and mimic us. James Brown, the godfather of soul. Aretha Franklin, the queen of soul. My sister, Terry Ellis and En Vogue, the funky divas of soul. But if soul don't exist, if we're not using it, what is James Brown the godfather of? What is Aretha Franklin the queen of? What is my sister Terry Ellis a funky diva of? We get upset with ghetto names. There's nothing wrong with ghetto names. Ghetto, so-called ghetto names is the natural evolution of you wanting your own. Accept your own and be yourself. We are working with English. We are working with the things, the tools that we are given. And we come up with these names and they are ours. But you think the Caucasian man name is better, an Arabic name is better. You think all this other stuff that folks got is better than what you create with your own hand, what comes from the womb of your woman. Look at how beautiful and unique we are. During slavery, the slave master would kill an animal and throw all the entrails and all that stuff out in the trash. Our ancestors would get those things that he threw away, anything that the master would throw away, the slaves would get their hands on it and turn it into something that tastes real good or something beautiful. Woo! Oh, wow. You are beautiful people. And you want to be somebody else. You want to be an Arab. You want to be some of these African people that you don't know nothing about. You want to be everything except yourself. The creation. Nature gives you what you need. You don't need what they have. It's not for you. Nature gives you soul. The soul is the essence of life. You and I, we are that which can bring life to that which is dead. Soul is life. What better to unite and build from that foundation these who have been treated so horrible going on 500 years. All of you should be under and work and build from the foundation of soul. It takes you up out of this other crap. Be unique unto yourself. Love yourself. Talk to your soul. Jot down your comments. Let's talk about it. Until next time, y'all. Peace.
This is it. Shoe Show is celebrating 50 years in business with a huge warehouse sale this weekend, and this weekend only save big on all of the top brands that you and your family want to wear. Nike, Skechers, Reebok, Timberland, New Balance, and more. All of the top brands, all of the popular styles, and over 60,000 pairs to choose from. So listen, if you wear shoes, then you must be at the Shoe Show warehouse sale this weekend. Take I-85 to exit 55 and then follow the signs and go online at shoeshow.com. The Shoe Show warehouse sale this weekend only.
I hate you, Shoe Show. I hate you, Shoe Show. I should do. I'm gonna get in my car and make a bad video about Shoe Show. Matter of fact, this day is over. I'm going to get in my car and go all the way to Shoe Show and protest Shoe Show. I got fired from Shoe Show. I got fired from the law firm. I got fired from the bus station. I'm tired of getting fired.
Well, lady, maybe the whole problem is you. You got attitude. You don't know what you want them to do in your life.
They won't let me go back to Shoe Show.
I Shoe Show finna get the hell out. This woman pregnant out.
Oh, get out of my house. Get out of my house. I'm gonna call the Shoe Show. I'm gonna call Shoe Show on you. I wanna go back to the law firm. I wanna go back to the law firm.
Let me get the hell out of here. Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly. I want to welcome you to this age of reality. Some of you probably heard of the age of Aquarius. Well, I am telling you that this new time period is called the age of reality. You have never seen so many things, so many ideas and beliefs being challenged until this period of time, this age of reality. And it is on time because these things that we believe, these things that we make assumptions with, these things that we, these worlds, this world of fantasy, it must be challenged and it must be brought down in order for the human being. Thank you, Brother Gary. The Age of Angels snubbed up 7. Let me put that up there real quick. That's funny. In order for the human species, regardless of color, in order for us to truly progress, all these ideas that we have that clearly are not working must be tossed to the side. So this new age of reality is to bring forth your only chance, your only opportunity to save your life, because fictional answers, beliefs, fictional beliefs and answers cannot solve real problems. So we are living in a world and we're tossing beliefs and fictional answers and these weird and odd ideologies and thinking process at real problems. And as you can see, it is not helping us at all. So welcome to this age of reality. And don't get it twisted, there may be some that claim they're keeping it real. But when you look at what they're talking about, it is just more fantasy and fictional beliefs and ideas. Either we are going to keep it real or we're not going to do it at all. We're going to keep it as real and down to earth as possible. As possible. To the best that we can, because we have been conditioned and we have been surrounded by belief and fantasy and fiction and these ideas that are not real. So come on, get on board this soul train. And let's enter this new age of reality. The topic that we chosen for these few minutes, and I hope not to keep you long. I hope not to keep us long. And I hope that you can follow me. I have a lot to cover, and I don't want to keep us here a long time. And I hope that you can understand. Matter of fact, for those who are often visitors, those who come and listen to this platform, you already know and you can comprehend what I am going to present. We must have the ability to understand. We must have the ability to comprehend. Some of us have the ability to understand. Some of us have the ability to comprehend. We don't want to, because should we do that, it could interfere with our belief system. A belief or an ideology that we become loyal to because we're not interested in reality. We're not interested in truth. We're only interested in that which we have believed to be true. And we have become loyal to that, to the truth that it may contain, but also the error, the false, which is in that thinking process or that belief system. I was speaking with a person, and they was making mockery of me, which is fine, because they can't comprehend, because their mind is locked up, because they don't want to see something else, because I already know. You can't tell me nothing, Angel Snuck. You can't tell me nothing because I already know. God has already told me from the Bible and Quran, or from Kemetic teachers, John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, Dr. Claude Anderson, wherever you get your information from, I already been told. There's nothing that you can tell me, sir. I already know. Is it a possibility they could be in error? If they are, it's not off by that much. This is it. This is the truth. I'm a follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm a follower of the Honorable Marcus Garvey. There's nothing that I'm a follower of Noble Jew Ali. I'm a follower of Malachi J. York. I'm a follower. I already know. You can't teach me nothing. I have already advanced my degrees within the science of Kemetic metaphysical energy. I know how to decode the future. There's nothing, sir, that you can teach me. Well, first of all, I'm not here to teach you anything. I'm not here to teach you. I'm not your teacher. I'm not looking for followers. I'm not looking for converts. We are just here simply to keep it real and to bring you advice and to offer suggestion, no more, no less. To convert you to what? Now, I would like to take you out of fantasy, out of fiction. Today, we want to separate, in dealing with this subject matter, fact from fiction, so that we can come up with the best truth that we can. If you are interested, some of you are not interested in truth. You are only interested in converting people to your ideology or your belief. You're not interested in any kind of truth. So basically, I'm dealing with a lot of people who are followers, and they would tell you, I follow so-and-so. I follow this. This is the teaching that I follow. I follow Jesus. I follow Moses. I follow the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I'm a follower. We're not looking for followers. Those that come here are not followers. They're leaders. We are not robots. We cannot be programmed, because what I say today might change tomorrow if you get information, new information that changes your conclusion. So we're not here to be robots. We're not here to be zombies. We're not here to be followers. We're here to be team members and leaders upon ourselves, so that when we begin to move forward, every man, woman, and child knows what to do, because we're all leaders. A very simple example is we are on a bus going to Chicago. And of course, you depend on your bus driver to get you to Chicago. But we want to make sure that every man, woman, and child on the bus, regardless if something happens to the bus driver, everybody knows how to get to Chicago. But when you are a robot, when you are a follower, you depend on your programming. You cannot think for yourself. You can only think as far as how you're being programmed. and you depend on somebody to follow. So you see a lot of confusion in the Nation of Islam because Elijah Muhammad, the leader, is not here. Should I follow the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? Should I follow the Honorable Minister Eric Muhammad? Should I follow the late Khalid Muhammad? Should I follow Silas or the Son of Man or whomever? Who can I follow? You are looking to follow somebody. If your leader was truly a leader, then your leader would have shown you where, how, what to do, how to go, whether I'm here with you or I'm not. But now you see confusion among the Nation of Islam. Everybody is everywhere. There's a Nation of Islam in Detroit somewhere, and it's a little bit different. They don't know. It's just mass confusion. At the same time, it says in their Holy Quran, I, Allah, is not the author of confusion, but you are suffering confusion. Why? And many of them will tell you, well, they're not doing the right thing. They're not following the right person. They're not doing the right thing. They're pointing fingers at each other because everybody says, I'm right, because now the leader is gone, and the leader did not prepare the followers to be leaders. And so they're all over the place. So why would you want to join up within something that is filled with confusion? The same thing with the noble Moore Science Temple, the Christian church, and all this Kemetic and Blackity Black, all of it. They everywhere. They're all over the place. Confusion. Nobody really knows what to do. Nobody really don't know where to go. They are in confusion. But that's what you're going to have when you're dealing with people who depend on a specific individual or a specific group to guide them. Also, it's a sign of laziness. I don't have to do nothing. I just depend on, I just follow the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I don't have to think for myself. I don't have to do nothing. Just follow his lead. And so many of you have seen in the animal kingdom, the lead animal falls off a cliff and the other animal fall off the cliff. They see the cliff. They said, well, he must, the animal that's in front must know what he's doing. So everybody fall off the cliff. Everybody is dead. And so now, in this age of reality, we thought we was looking at life, and we see this black conscious community, pro-black, RBG Nation, Hebrew Israelite, whatever the form of blackness that you have, you see that they have fallen off a cliff, and they're all mentally dead, going nowhere, confused. If that's what you want, so be it. But those who come here are smart enough. Hey, I'm following your lead, but hey, bro, you getting ready to fall off a cliff. I'm going the opposite direction. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I love you. You was a good leader while it lasted, but your dumb ass is falling off, good enough, getting ready to fall off a cliff. I can't do it. I got to know. No, I can't do it. We're not smart enough to see when our leaders, our leadership is getting ready to fall off a cliff because we're blind followers. So you will hear them say, well, you know, Elijah Muhammad teach, Noble Drew Ali teach, Clarence 13X teach, Malachi York teach. It's always about what the Bible said, the Quran said. They need to find something to follow. They need something to guide them because they are unable to guide self. True leadership, competent leadership, understands that we are mortal, that we can die. We understand that we can be assassinated. So whatever wisdom that we have, it must be transferred. It must be transferred to the people. So with or without me, the promised land that Dr. King spoke of, you're going to get there with or without me. That's what we do here. I don't know what they do elsewhere. Because some folks love that praising. Oh, the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan. Oh, y'all love to praise and worship. Slave mindset, slave mentality. You're looking for a slave owner because you're a follower. If soul brothers and sisters, if the black man and woman in America, if we are to continue to progress and survive into time, we have to stop being robots, these zombies. We have to stop tripping on personality. Oh, did you see what Tariq Nasheed said on his program yesterday? How wonderful Umar Johnson is. But what about you? What about the listeners? What about your progress? What about your development? They are developing, they're rising as far as you're concerned, but where are you at? Right here. You don't move. You will do the same thing you done last year, you're doing this year. You're going nowhere, no time fast, because you are limited in those who you listen to, the leadership, those that you follow, those that you become a zombie and a robot to. We don't do that here. So if that's what you're looking for, the teachings, we don't have any teachings here. The teachings is to be able to observe reality. The teachings here is realism. The teachings is to separate fact from fiction. That's the teaching. The teaching is nature, learning from nature and staying within the laws and the boundaries of this planet that caused us to come into being. This is why we're lost. We're outside and we think we are better, that we don't have to obey the laws of nature. You can have as many babies as you want. You can drink all the water that you want. You can build, you can make all the cars and airplanes, and you can do whatever you want as a human being, and there's no consequence. Use all the oil you want. Use all the gas you want. But see, reality is a mother. Because sooner or later, you're going to have to face the reality. And go to your sink, no water. Go to the gas station, no gas. Disease is rampant. This coronavirus is nothing compared to what can happen. It's nothing. And it's on its way. And it's coming because of the activity of human beings is unnatural. The only thing the human being does is take. Take. You don't give what I want, what I need. Well, I need that land. Kill the deer. I need that land. Kill the squirrels. I don't care, it's mine. I do whatever I want to. The human being has become a parasite in life, not just on this planet, as far as life is concerned. The human being has become a parasite. And any animal that get a parasite, scratch it off, regurgitate it from his stomach. Nobody wants a parasite. And this planet, this human being, regardless of race, because they all think the same kind of way, you're going to have to deal with the consequences of your actions. And right now, you're headed toward a cliff but you can make a U-turn. But once you get to that edge and start falling off, you suffer the consequences of your actions. Death is inevitable. And I'm not here to scare you. You going to hell and the wrath of God, and no, I'm just telling you what can happen. And that's the result. Not trying to scare you. If you stand in front of a bullet, there's a high probability that bullet is going to kill you. That's all I'm telling you. I'm not trying to scare you. That's just the reality of it. Ask those who stood in front of bullets. Not trying to scare you. That's what will happen. If you touch fire, you get burned. And right now, you're touching fire and you're going to get burned. Not medium rare, you're going to get cooked. And you're on your way to that. But that's all right. Keep following your God. Keep following your teachers. Keep following your teachings. Just keep doing that. Let's see how far it gets you. We see how far it has gotten you right now. We need leaders. We don't need zombies. We don't need robots. We don't need followers. We need leaders. The topic that we've chosen is I'm a soul man. I'm not an African or an Aborigine man. We want to separate fact from fiction here. What are we? Of course, in popular culture, we will say that we are Africans. That's what we was taught. And within the last few years, because of social media, there are those who say we are Aboriginals, we are Native Americans. Let's see what we are. Let's separate fact from fiction. The first thing I want to ask, you say we are Africans. We are Aboriginal. People are telling you what you are. They're not asking you. They're not advising you. They're not giving you a suggestion. They are telling you this is what you are by force. And then they get angry. You mean to tell me you don't believe you're African? You mean to tell me you don't believe that you're native? They get really upset and angry and whatever. What happened to asking people what they want to be? No, this is what you are. You are African. See, I don't like that attitude. You are Aboriginal. You can't tell me, Negro, what the hell I am. That's what you are. That's what you decided you want to be. You can't tell nobody. I cannot tell the 40 million plus brothers and sisters in this country who and what they are. You are African. You are native. You are more, whatever you think we supposed to be. Nobody asks nobody nothing. You're just going to tell people what they are, then get angry because they reject what you're talking about. Maybe because you're forcing something on them. You don't know how to talk to people. Now, I'm talking to us, and I'm not going to tell you who you are. You make up your mind who you are. I'm not going to tell you you are African. I'm not going to tell you what we are. Because the bottom line is we don't know what the hell we are. How do you know what you are when there's so much confusion? Are you a Moor? Are you a Hebrew Israelite? Are you an African? Are you Aboriginal? You live in confusion. How do we know what we are? And everybody think they right. So how you gonna tell somebody what they are? The first thing that needs to be done is to stop the confusion. Let's really break down and deal with the facts. Let's come to the best conclusion that we can come with. The people don't have a choice. I'm not going to tell you to be anything. Only thing I'm going to do is bring to you a presentation, and you decide. And everybody should have the right to decide. Nobody has the right to come and tell, that's what we are. Who the hell are you? All these things need to be put before the 40 million plus in this country. And then let us decide. Me personally, I don't care. If we want to call ourselves bubblegum rappers, that's fine with me. As long as you can come up with an identity that everybody can agree upon, the mass majority can agree upon. So you can have something to work with, so that you can work as a unit. But when you have all this confusion, you cannot go. You cannot go far. How far can you get divided up and arguing and bickering over what you are? We committed. We more. We're Israelite. No, we confused. We should do just like the election do. Let those who represent these different identities, let them bring it before the 40 million and let us vote on it, what we want to be as a people. And whether you win or lose, you can still stay Moor or African or whatever the hell you want to. But the people will tell us what they want to be. And then you shut the hell up. In your private life, you can be a Moor or a Hebrew Israelite or whatever you want to. But the people will decide this is who we are. And so just like the candidates for president, you go before the people and put down your argument and let the people decide who they want to be. I don't think you really want to do that. I think y'all would rather stay in confusion, because if y'all put me on a national stage and gave me the opportunity to explain to the masses who they really are, how we really was created, they are going to vote this way. You are the minority, because they're going to find pride in themselves. We're going to talk about that. Look at here. Now, there are some silly folks. I wear my Malcolm X pen. And the reason why I have this Malcolm X pen is because the national assistant to Minister Louis Farrakhan was speaking at a Malcolm X birthday anniversary, and his own security people was tired and they did not want to secure the second man. This man is next to Minister Farrakhan in the organization. He's the international representative. He was the national assistant, but he's been around for years. He's Minister Farrakhan's #1, Brother Akbar Muhammad. Brother Akbar Muhammad told the FOI, I know you're tired, you've been up all day or whatever, but I need to go. I'm the main speaker at this Malcolm X function. And those who want to come, if you don't want to come, you just go home. I know that you're tired. They took him up on his offer. So I told Brother Akbar, I will go and I will secure you. I will be there and watch your back. I will be your security. That's
there we go. I don't have a lot to say. Come to see Terry. That's Terry, Cindy, Ron.
We can talk. I don't know why people don't like talking to me. I don't bite, I don't think. Terry Ellis will tell you I don't bite, you know. So anyway.
She's a lady, sophisticated lady, mother of mankind. Ooh, she's so divine. The charm of a girl, she's the strength of the world. Like a diamond in the rough, she's sweet but she's tough. She's meek, she's mild, takes care of business with a smile. The warm attitude, so cool when you're rude, sweet when she freaks ya. You're wrong, she'll dismiss ya. With such style and such grace, she brings class to the place. When she walks through the room, you'll have to assume that she's a lady. Oh, such a lady. Such a lady. She's a lady. Oh yeah. Sophisticated lady. She's a lady. She's a lady. Well, such a lady. Such a lady. She's a lady. Sophisticated lady. To the women of the world who cannot relate, it takes more than good looks or how well you can cook. It takes more than just teasing and pleasing a man. It's like a religion. It takes practice and vision. There's no substitute. You got to be real. There's no way you can fake it. Follow all the rules. Walking tall with your pride straight ahead, riding high, and they'll say she's a lady. Oh, such a lady. Such a lady. She's a lady. Oh yeah.
While I was there, myself, and there was another brother named Ronnie, and he's crippled, he's handicapped now. Brother that know me, we was in the temple together back in the day, and the minister from East St. Louis and his wife was there. Those brothers, this FOI, did not show up for the number. This is the number 2 man in their organization. That's why I have this Malcolm X pen, because I donated money to whoever was putting on this event, and I got this pen. That's why I have this Malcolm X pen. Then you have in the pen the red, the black, and the green, which is supposed to represent black nationalism, Marcus Garvey. So how can you talk the way you do, sir? You wearing Malcolm X. Malcolm X said we are Africans. Now, I just watched a video not too long ago. Malcolm X also said we are the original people of North America. He said that also. I seen a video him saying that. He also did say that we are descendants of Africans. Then you have the red, black, and the green, which represents black nationalism, Marcus Garvey, a relationship with Africa. First of all, I donated for this pen. It's mine. I can wear it whenever the hell I feel like it. It's mine. You don't tell me what I can and cannot wear. If I want to dress up like a black Muslim, it's my tie. It's my clothes. You don't tell me how I should carry myself. You are not my slave owner. You're not my slave master. You don't tell me what I do. Well, you don't represent. This is what I like. I like the pen. You don't tell me how to dress, how to think.
You go to your slave master and they tell you what to do, how to think. Nobody tells me how to think, what to wear, what to do. I like Malcolm. I like Marcus Garvey. They said what they said within the parameters of what they knew during their time. This is the age of reality. So we know different. We know more. They only acted upon what they knew. Had they known what we know now, you don't know how they would respond. They might be like you, a robot. Arrogant. Can't tell me nothing. This is the way it's supposed to go. The teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Marcus Garvey. See, you a robot. I don't know about Marcus Garvey, but I know Malcolm X was flexible. That's why he became a black nationalist. That's why Malcolm X was able to inspire the Black Panthers and all these other black national groups or whatever, because he was outside of the Nation of Islam. He was flexible. In my opinion, if Malcolm X had lived, I think he would have been just like me. Oh man, get out of here. Malcolm X wouldn't have been like you. Yes, he would have. We come from the same place. Come from the same place. I was Nation of Islam too. We come from the same place. I was just like you, a robot. Or the teachers of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad said this. The Holy Quran said that. I was just like you, a robot. But see, the difference between me and you is I was a child. I was 18, 19 years old. Following my adults. Because the adults supposed to know more than me. But if I knew what I knew now, back then, you wouldn't have got me back then. So it's a process of maturity. So Malcolm would have continued to mature. You cannot say that Malcolm would have stayed a so-called black nationalist or he would have stayed a Muslim. I say that Malcolm X, Brother Malcolm, would have became just like me. And that's why I'm here. Because everything, the process that Malcolm went through and what he was, it's me. It's me. You're a robot. You're a zombie. So you don't understand free thinkers. Those who come here are free thinkers. A slave does not understand why another slave want to run away from the plantation. Good Lord, you talk about running away? Is you sure you wants to do that? I mean, we get Christmas time, we gonna get a lot of corn and we gonna get a lot of hog maws and a lot of good cake and everything. Why you want what? Invo, why they want to leave the plantation? You want to be free to do what? That's with the slaves. And just like even in 2020, when we talk about separation, when we talk about taking control of a state, the slaves, those who have slave mind, take control of a state. You want your own nation? Where we gonna go? What we gonna do? We got everything we want right here. We can go to the Invo concert. We can have coronavirus. We got everything here. We don't need to go nowhere. The same mentality, same mindset. Hold on just a second. Same mentality. Slaves, a Kemetic slave, a Nation of Islam slave, Hebrew Israelite slave. Christian slave. Same thing. When you're dealing with people who are not free thinkers, when you're dealing with people who are dependent on somebody else to do for them, so they would not understand. You would not understand. People listening to me, if you have a slave mind, if you're a robot and you're a follower, you cannot comprehend what you're talking about. What? I don't understand. Of course you don't understand. And they will tell you they don't understand, but they will come and try and come against you knowing they don't understand. So they come against me in ignorance because they don't understand. So your best bet is just to shut the hell up and leave me alone. Go argue with another robot like yourself, a comedic robot, a pro-black conscious robot, black first robot, zombie, Nation of Islam, Moor Science Temple. Pick whoever you want to. You can argue with another robot. You cannot argue with a free thinker. It's a losing proposition, and you're just going to make yourself look bad. Well, you look bad anyway. You shouldn't have messed with somebody like me to begin with, because I'm a thinker. You don't know you don't know how I'm going to go. Like the Honorable Bruce Lee, the martial artist. In his martial arts, he created a system called Jeet Kune Do, the way of the intercepting fist. But then he decided his martial art has no name at all because you have to be flexible. When you put a name on something, then you limit it. And he wanted his martial arts to be limitless. However the fight comes, whatever you got to do, just do it. He wanted his martial art to be like water. Be flexible, my friend. Be like water. Water takes three forms. It can be a gas, it can be a solid, and of course it can be water, liquid. And water takes the shape of the vessel that you put it in because it's flexible. But when you have a rigid form, when something is rigid, you can't take an apple and just put it in a jar. You have to cut it up. You got to make it have form. Water, you just pour it, takes the form of the vessel. And that's our problem. We love these rigid. We love being rigid in our thinking. I think I will. Hey, how you doing? My eyes was just hurting earlier, so I wanted to get some of that glare off and clear my eyes up. But this being rigid in our thinking process. Now, let's try to get into our subject matter a little deeper here. There was a young lady, I don't know if she was Hispanic or she was a soul sister, I'm not sure. It was a young lady that was kidnapped at birth. Now I want y'all to follow me as we get more into the subject here. There was a young lady who was kidnapped at birth. They found her at, I think she was 21, 22 years old. and they found out, and they found her. She was kidnapped at birth. The only mother, I want y'all to take this in, because this is an individual situation. I want to show us how this relates to us as a people. This young girl was kidnapped at birth. She was raised by a kidnapper, okay? Now she's grown. She's an adult. She's over 18. I think she's 21, 22. And they send the mama to jail, the kidnapper, which is the only mother she knows. She was raised from infant to be an adult by the kidnapper. Woo, come on. Do they remind you of somebody? Somebody that was raised by a kidnapper until they became an adult? Do they remind you of a people? So they take her to jail, and they introduce the young lady to her biological real mother and her family. Now you think this will be a happy reunion, right? Oh, my child, I haven't seen my child since she was an infant. Oh my goodness. All the family, everybody waiting and happy. The young lady is terrified. She's terrified. This is her biological, real family. She's terrified. She wants to go to the prison. She wants to go to the jail to be with the only mother she knows, that is this kidnapper. So I'm bringing this up. Here's a young lady that is scared of her real family because she don't know them. So how are you going to come before the brothers and sisters in this country and tell us we are these Africans? We don't know nothing about that. Don't know nothing about it. This is all we know. Now, to my knowledge, I think she's trying to get to know them. But the reality is she's not really interested. They are strangers. And these are her biological, real. Now, you keep talking about we are Africans. You don't have no relatives over there at all. This young lady has real biological people, and she's scared to death of them. She don't know them at all. You telling me I'm an African, I don't know nobody over there. And even if I did, we have nothing in common. So this young lady is an example. She knows who her family is. She wants to go back to the mother that raised her. I know you, my mother. That's nice. I don't know y'all like that. She wants to go back to her mama. She kidnapped her. That's wrong. But clearly she did not abuse the child. She didn't do nothing to hurt the child. And the child wants to be with the only mother she knows. Here you are, these pro-black idiots. They want to come to me and you and talk about going back to some Africa we've never been, dealing with some people, and they are speaking in general terms. There's nothing specific. It's just Africa. Well, that's a big continent. 50 plus nations. Who are you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? That's the way I look at them. When they tell me you are African, I'm like, what you talking about, Willis? Who are you talking about? If you know I'm an African, then tell me who my family is. Tell me what nation I come from. Even so, I don't know nothing about it. Nice to know. This young lady, it's nice to know about my biological mother, my biological family. She might try to get to know them and she might not. But it really don't mean nothing. And really, they're happy to see her, but they don't know her either. See, we don't know each other. And you just want to just throw folks together like everything is all happy. That's my relative. Look, that's not how things work. We're strangers. They are living, Africans, people on that continent are living a whole different lifestyle than we are here. The reality is, brothers and sisters are not going to go by the millions or even the thousands to know Africa. You don't know nothing about it. And you should not get angry and you should not get upset and you should not blame somebody. Here's a young lady. These are her biological relatives and she's scared to death of them. What do you expect? Going back real quick to Malcolm X and the teachers of the Nation of Islam. The teachers of the Nation of Islam is the black man is the original man of this planet, not of Africa. The Nation of Islam do not teach. The Nation of Islam teaches brother and sisterhood with Africa. The Nation of Islam does not teach that we are Africans. The Nation of Islam teach that we are the aboriginal of the whole planet. God of the universe. That's what they teach. So when you talk about Malcolm X called us African, the teachers of the Nation of Islam is we are the original man of the whole planet. Does not teach just Africa. The whole planet. The whole planet belongs to us. The whole universe, according to their teachings. According to their teaching. It's not my teaching. According to their teaching. The black man is the ruler of this planet, God of the universe. Now, of course, black did not exist until the white man created. So I don't know how the black man did all this when the black man did not even exist. Did not even exist those years ago. I'm going to show you why. Let's try to get through this real quick. Are you hanging with me? Okay, let's try to get through this real quick. Let me get a drink. Okay. Frederick Douglass. You know the guy, the brother that Umar Johnson is related to? The brother that Umar Johnson is related to, okay? Frederick Douglass, during his time, and you can look it up. You don't take my word for nothing, because I know y'all like to do your research. Y'all like to do your research, but you don't use logic, and you don't use common sense, and you don't like facts. You really don't. Especially if it interferes with your belief, how you want to believe in things. Frederick Douglass said during his time, he said, he wrote rather, after 270 years, the so-called Negro, that's what we was called during his time, the so-called Negro is an admixture people unique unto ourselves. And I agree with Frederick Douglass 1000%. That's what Frederick Douglass said. And I want to explain why. Now look, we're going to use this for an example. A polar bear. Okay, a polar bear lives in Antarctica, Alaska somewhere where it's really, really cold. Now, if you take that polar bear, bring it to the United States, and put it in the zoo, that polar bear is still a polar bear. It's just in the United States. Correct? Okay. Now, if for some reason that polar bear has babies with a grizzly bear, the babies are not grizzly. The babies are not polar. They are a mix between the polar bear and the grizzly bear. Now, the babies can look just like a polar bear. See, this is what got y'all all messed up, because you're going by what something looked like. These babies can look just like a polar bear, but they're not. The father was a polar bear and the mother was a grizzly bear. These babies can look like a grizzly bear. These babies can look like a polar bear, or these babies can look like a mix. They are not grizzly. They are not polar bear. So after the original parents die off and you got these mixed babies begin to reproduce, grizzly bear, polar bear, grizzly bear, polar bear, they become a new bear. They're not grizzly bear. They're not polar bear. They become a unique species, a hybrid to themselves that was created in the zoo. Now, this is what happened to the black man and woman in America. This is what happened to us, that these people just ignore. The Aboriginal ignore, and these African people. Folks, they just ignore this fact. You cannot ignore this. When I was growing up, I never heard nobody, my family, I never heard nobody around us teach the children, taught us that we was Africans. And of course, you have an explanation for that. We was not taught that. But I did hear in some people's family, they talked about being Native Americans. I did hear that. But I never heard nobody talk and say they was Africans. We got relatives, we come from Africa. I never heard that. And if you really examine the story, the transatlantic slave trade, it don't make any sense. It don't make any sense. Also, you have to take in consideration that the races called the native people here, called them Africans, called them Negro, called them black. Who else is called black and African and Negro? The ones they call Africans, they don't call them Negro. They don't call them colored. But the natives that was here, they called them colored, they called them African, they called them black, they called them Negro. Who else is called like that? That's because chances are the original breeding stock was dark-skinned people that was already here. Well, they still come from Africa. I don't care where they come from. When you travel from one place to another, you're no longer that no matter where you come from. We love playing the dumb role. We love playing the dumb role. If I'm born in Mississippi and I move to Ohio and I have children in Ohio, are those children Mississippians or are they Ohioans? Which one are they? I moved. When you change a geographical place, you're no longer that. I don't care where you come from. Now, I'm still a Mississippian. You can still call me a Mississippian, but my children have nothing to do with Mississippi. They never was there. So the original breeding stock, you can call them from the continent. You can call them native people or Aboriginal. You cannot call the descendants that because we're not that. We are an admixture people created by slavery. And we can look like Native Americans and we can look like Africans, but we're neither like the polar bear. That polar bear babies can look like a polar bear or a grizzly bear. So you look like an African. Of course, it's in my DNA. You have some so-called black people, they passing for white. How did that happen? What Africans you know on the continent can pass for white? It's not in their bloodstream. It's not in their DNA. But we can produce that. You have brothers and sisters right now passing for white because that's our DNA makeup. We was raped by the peckerwood for hundreds of years. So in our DNA makeup, you have Aboriginal, you have African, you have the islands, you have the peckerwood. That's us. And we can look like any of them or we can look like a mix. What Africans do these sisters look like? Terry, Cindy, and Rona. What Africans they supposed to be? As a people, what Native Americans, as a people, what Africans we supposed to look like? We don't look like none of them because we're not them. We are an admixture people, whether you like it or not. The only way that Dan Calloway and Jabari and a lot of these people, scholars, Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, all these people, the only way they can be correct in their conclusions is that we have to remain pure. So we came from, so the polar bear comes from the Antarctic, and then the polar bear mixes with other polar bears and stay a polar bear. Now, what you're talking about is correct. However, you still got another problem because now the polar bear is being raised in the zoo. You're gonna have a problem taking these zoo polar bears and taking them back to Antarctica. It's not gonna work. Just like I was telling you about this young lady, she was raised by a kidnapper and she don't know her biological family, you still got some problems on your hands. What native people, what aboriginal, what Africans, who are we supposed to look like? We're not that. After hundreds of years of interbreeding, and this is another thing about us, the breeding farms. You had sons made to have babies by their mother. Fathers was getting their daughters pregnant, and cousins and stuff. All this, you don't even really know who you are biologically, except within the last few generations. You really don't know because of slavery. Slavery created us, made us. We are a DNA mess. But see, wow. So now you know how we become what we are. Now you see that we are not African. We are not Aboriginal. We are not from the islands. We are a creation. We are a hybrid made up by a kidnapper. Just like that polar bear was kidnapped from Antarctica and brought and put in a zoo. We are the products. The same situation happened to us. And remember, we was treated just like animals. And so the slave master would breed certain slaves together because I'm going to put these slaves out in the field and I'm going to put these slaves in the house. The same way they did animals. I want to make this cow for beef. I want this cow for milk. Same process. Did this. We were property. We was the same. It's not a beautiful story. I know you don't like to hear it. You don't want to hear it. You want to hear about you was a god and goddess and a warrior and we ruled the world. And no, you didn't. Our history started with slavery because slavery created us. Our ancestors was free. Our ancestors was pure. We come from them. Just like a dog is not a wolf. Dogs are descendants of wolves, but they're not wolves, but they are descendants. We are descendants of these people. They are our DNA makeup, but we're not them. And you feel shame. That's what it is. You feel shame because you want a greater history. You want something. There's nothing. Oh, see. Oh, wow. There's nothing wrong with it. Do you know where all of us come from? Do you know where all of us come from? All of us started as a sperm and an egg. And then you began to evolve. And you became a fetus. And then an infant. And a toddler. And now you grown. That's where we started from. That's where we all started from. Now, some of y'all are nasty. Y'all know what sperm and egg look like. Is it pretty? Is it beautiful? Well, some of y'all disgusting, so maybe some of you might think so. Yeah, child. No, I'm not going to get y'all nasty. That's how all of us start. You don't want to accept your beginnings. Our history didn't start with no slavery. Well, if your history did not start with slavery, what is your connection? What is your contribution to the history that you're plagiarizing and you're stealing? What is your history? Can a polar bear in a zoo claim the history of the polar bear that's free? How is that possible? Never been to Alaska, never been to Antarctica. How can the polar bear in the zoo claim that history? Has nothing to do with it. You was born in a zoo for generations. You've been living right here in America going on 500 years. They do not teach black history in Africa. Do you know why? Because we don't have a connection and we have no contribution to African history. So why should they mention you? You didn't do nothing. We didn't do nothing in Africa. Never been there. So how are they going to talk about you and add you to their history when you never was there? Don't make any sense. But these fairy tales and these fictional things that we believe in, your kings and queens and gods and goddesses, and what kingdom did you rule? You a god of what? Where your power at? The only thing you represent is what you are, and that's a slave. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with your origins coming from slavery. Where did the peckerwood come from? You said he came out of a cave, right? He came out of a cave. He was crawling on his all fours, eating raw meat, climbing trees, had fur all over his body. Look at him now. It's not about where you come from. It's about where you're going. I was watching a video by Dr. Boyce Watkins, I believe. This brother was talking about how he was making $13 an hour and now he's a multimillionaire. It's not about where you come from. It's about where you're going. And guess what? The brother went from $13 an hour to a millionaire. Who gets the credit? He gets all the credit. But with you trying to take the credit from somebody else. You want to tag along somebody else's history, somebody else's accomplishment. That's what you want to do. You are a bum. You're a historical bum. You are a plagiarist and you are a liar. You want to be part of history, but you don't know how to make history. The brother went from $13 an hour, now he's a millionaire. He's the only one that gets the credit. Nobody can say, well, I gave him. No, nobody gave me nothing. I used my brain. I used my talent. I went from $13 an hour, now I'm a millionaire. You can't say that. You want to talk about the Egyptians, ancient Ethiopia, and you don't have nothing to do with that history at all. You have a beautiful history right here in struggle. And it can even get even better if you begin to learn how to love yourself and understand your own uniqueness. Let me bring this talk to conclusion. There are those who would tell us that we are Africans. There are those who would tell you that you are Kemetic, you're a Kemite, you are a Moor and a Hebrew Israelite, and you're Aboriginal. I will say to us that we are soul brothers and sisters. That's what I like. That's what I love. Other people own these other labels. What does a label do? A label describes. I was telling somebody about being a soul man, a soul brother and sister. Oh man, that's some made up stuff. Everything we do in life, fool, is made up. Everything. This jar, somebody labeled this and called it a jar. Everything. Somebody, this computer I'm speaking to you on. Somebody named it. Everything is made up. That's how we communicate, idiot. Otherwise, how would you know what the hell I'm talking about? If I tell you to bring me a glass of apple juice, and then you bring me a glass of grape juice, now I communicated to you apple juice. But see, according to y'all logic, we won't know what is what because it's not properly labeled. You don't believe in proper labels. If I talk about a dog, a cat do not come in your mind because we have an understanding of what a dog is. So a cat would not come in your mind. Labels supposed to describe an object or a person. That's what labels do. When you pick up a can of corn and the label says corn on it, when you open the can, you expect to see corn, not beans in the can. If it's properly labeled. I say to us to label yourselves Hebrew Israelite or a Kemite or a black Muslim or any of these other labels, African or Aboriginal, we are being mislabeled because that's not what we are. Anybody that talk to you just for a few minutes can see that you're not none of these things. First of all, when you talk about a Moor and a Hebrew Israelite, who are your examples? Where are you getting this stuff from? So I guess you can just make up some stuff and make it whatever you want it to be because there's no example. What is a Moor? What is a Hebrew Israelite? You definitely don't look like no Egyptian. You're not Kemetic. We're not carrying the correct labels. These are religious things. They have a religious affiliations or ideologies, whatever. But we did not make them up. They belong to somebody else. They have origins coming from somebody else. All of this stuff that we're talking about. And if you really get down to the root of it all, the white man created it all. When you get down to the root of it, because that's the only teacher you ever had. He's the one that taught you about Africa. He's the one that taught you about Egypt. He's the one that gave you the Bible. Everything about you is him. Everything about you is him at the root of it all. Now, once you get it and you play around, whatever, blah, 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 but at the root of it all, it comes from him. And he knows that we are mislabeled. He knows what we are. That's why he called us Negro. He did not call you a native. He did not call you an African. He called us a Negro or a colored person because he knew that after generations, these are a new breed of something. They are not the original. No more than those mixed bears in the zoo. Not a polar bear, not a grizzly bear. Once you mix something, it is no longer pure. Once you put cream in coffee, it's still coffee, but it's not the same no more. You have diluted it. You have tainted it. And you can't sell it as coffee anymore. It's not pure coffee no more. You can probably still sell it with some cream in it, but chances are nobody, because most people want to put their own cream in coffee, sugar in coffee. They don't want that. You cannot sell coffee like that. We are not these people. That's our ancestors. That's who we descended from. That's not who we are. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Look, let me say this and get out of here. I don't know. See, I was raised when we holler Black Power. I know y'all know about Black Power. When I was growing up, there was also Soul Power. it was just as strong as Black power was. Anybody my age, anybody that was raised in the late 60s, early 70s, you know, because you was probably a child just like me, we was raised and you heard soul power. I remember when I was a little boy and a brother walked up to me and said, "How you doing there, soul brother?" I'm like, "I'm fine." He said, "Give me 5." And I gave him 5. He said, "On the black hand side." He turned his hand over and I said, He said, "In the hole." And I did, He said, "Brother, you got soul." Oh man, woo. We was the only one doing that. That's our thing. When you talk about soul, brothers and sisters, because we use the word soul, you automatically think about religion, spirituality, which that is what many of us claim. And that's who we are. We are going to be spiritual, and we are going to, and we say that we have a soul. But when you talk about soul, it's an emotional connection to life. It's a survival mechanism that we developed. You can whoop my ass, but I will still smile. That's how we was able, that's how our people, that's how we was able to survive the brutality of 300-400 years. That's how we do right now. Which is also a bad thing, because we need to get up, we really need to fight and stop this once and for all. It's a survival mechanism to have soul. It's a connection to life. It's a way to survive. It's how we learn how to survive. So you're getting treated badly, yes sir, and you know how you learn how to smile. You learn how to deal with your oppression. And even though you're hurting, you can still sing. La, 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 we shall overcome. We shall overcome. Somebody gets shot in the head. We shall overcome. We shall go up. Somebody go to jail. We shall overcome. It's a survival mechanism. That's how we are. That's how we survive the torture, the rape, and the brutality of over 300 years of physical slavery. We had to learn how to become emotional, to hold on to life. Life was precious to us because we were surrounded. We were living in the valley of the shadow of death. And in a racist society, whoo, come on now. In a racist society, because we have been discriminated against and bias and prejudice against us, we had to learn how to do things better than everybody else. I just can't learn something. I got to do it better. In order for me to try to compete with the white man, I got to step up my game and be better. So when you see basketball, when we stepped on the court, we just can't play basketball. We got to be better. So the brother got to take the ball and flip it around and put it behind his back and twist and dunk, and because we got to be better. When we play baseball, we got to do better. We can't just run the bases. We got to put some swag in there. We got to flip around and turn flips and do all kinds of stuff. Because everything we do, we got to do better. In business, we got to provide better customer service, better food. Everything about us got to be better in order to compete. And if we are given the opportunity, because this is a part of our life, this is how we live for hundreds of years. If you put us in a science environment or some kind of business environment, we're going to do very well because we got to do better. It's just a natural part of us, and we want to do better. When the Peckerwoods shake hands, how you doing there, Bill? They just shake hands. Well, how you doing there, Sal, whoever, John? When we shake hands, Hey, what's up, brother? Give me some skin. We got to flip it around and turn it. It just can't be a regular shake. It's got to be, you got to flip it around and slap me. Do it. That's how we do. That's our swag. That's how we do it. And that's why they said we have soul. That's why we're soul brothers and sisters. I don't know where the name actually come from that put it on us, but it's something that belongs to us. When you talk about soul brothers and sisters, it belongs to us. These are, in vogue is the funky divas of soul. Soul is more than music. Soul was our culture. Soul was us expressing our uniqueness. Some of us don't like ghetto names. That's us expressing our uniqueness. Well, you got a lady, she loves Tyrone, and she want to name this girl after the father. So I'm going to call my girl, my daughter, Tyronisha. You know, stuff like that. Some of y'all, that's so ghetto. That's us expressing ourselves, our own uniqueness. When you talk about soul music, they don't go looking for Africans. When you talk about soul music, they don't go looking for Aboriginal people. When they talk about soul music, they're talking about the descendants of slaves born in America, having Aboriginal or African ancestry or island ancestry, us, the so-called niggas, the African Americaners. That's who you're looking for. And when soul power was at its height, people all over the world want to have soul. I got soul too. I got soul too. And the thing about soul is it takes us out of race. You're not black. You're not brown. You're not red. You're not yellow. I just got soul. I'm just here. I'm part of this people here. Because we're not racist anyway. The ones who want to use black and African and Aboriginal, that's because they hook on race. They're in competition with other races. I have no need. I don't care if you are dark like me or their skin color. I don't care. We're all brothers and sisters. We all have soul here. It goes beyond skin color. The soul and the spirit has no skin color. It takes us out of racism, white supremacy. That by itself takes you out of racism, white supremacy. But as long as you're black and Aboriginal and African and all this other stuff, you still want to be part of their sick game. And you don't want to embrace what is natural, what is good for yourself. This belongs to me. So whatever soul is, I will determine what it is. Nobody can say, oh, well, you really ain't no, you're not a real soul brother. How do you know? We made, this is ours. You can't tell me nothing. But when you Kemetic, one of those Egyptians, you're not a real Egyptian. You're not a real Hebrew Israelite. You're not a real Muslim. You're not a real Moor, because you're getting this from other places. And whoever created the label determines and defines what that is. I don't want your damn label. I want to have soul. I want my own uniqueness. I want to be me. Nobody else can claim mine. So when you talk about soul brothers and sisters, nobody else can claim it. No Africans, no Aboriginal, no other dark-skinned people, no Europeans, nobody. Because when you think about soul brothers and sisters, when you talk about soul people, it's us. Nobody else can claim it.
Yeah. You know, so you know, like I said, all I can say is
it's all like they say, but leave us alone over here at Operation Exodus, Mississippi, aka Reality Temple on Earth. You know, leave us alone.
Alcoholics Anonymous. It works. Look us up in the phone book.
Never lie, steal, cheat, or drink. If you must lie, lie in the arms of the person you love. If you must steal yourself away from bad company. If you must cheat, cheat death. And if you go goddamn drink that takes the moments and the breath away. Trump lights.
I told him to just leave the Capitol, and in response they yelled, "No man, this is our house. President Trump invited us here. We're here to stop the steal. Joe Biden is not the president. Nobody voted for Joe Biden. I'm a law enforcement officer, and I do my best to keep politics out of my job. But in this circumstance, I responded, well, I voted for Joe Biden. Does my vote not count? Am I nobody?" That prompted a torrent of racial epithets. One woman in a pink MAGA shirt yelled, "You hear that, guys? This nigger voted for Joe Biden." Then the crowd, perhaps around 20 people, joined in screaming, "Boo, fucking nigger." No one had ever called me a nigger while wearing the uniform of a Capitol Police officer. In the days following the attempted insurrection, other black officers shared with me their own stories of racial abuse on January 6th. One officer told me he had never, in his entire 40 years of life, been called a nigger to his face, and that streak ended on January 6th. Yet another black officer later told me he had been confronted by insurrectionists in the Capitol who told him, "Put your gun down and we'll show you what kind of nigger you really are."
And whatever. You goddamn right, I fucking drink. I drink, whatever. I ain't drink today. I had a shot today though, but I fucked up last night though. That was my moment.
Cuckoo cutter knows how I feel about the Pan-African mindset and all this blackity black stuff. I kicked all those type of people off my platform. All these, I love Jesus and gods and the spirit. I kicked all of them off my platform. I don't have time for all that over-emotional obsession with this going nowhere ideology. And it is not taking you nowhere. They don't want to hear that. They want to continue to be the big-ass loser that they are. I'm a winner. I don't want to be around losers. Pretend winners.
Nobody else can tell you what that is except us. But when you adopt labels that come from outside sources, then they determine whether you real or are you fake. I don't want to be those things. My mind is just as clever and creative as theirs is. My vision is just as clear as theirs was. I can label, I can create, I have vision. Whatever they can do, I can do. Matter of fact, if you leave me the hell alone, we could do better. You want to brag about ancient Egypt? Ancient Egypt is gone. It's done. But if you came and accepted your own uniqueness, you could probably do just as well as Egypt and greater. But only you satisfied with some dead stuff, some dead rocks from 5,000 years ago that have nothing to do with you. Because if you had something to do with those dead rocks from 5,000 years ago, you could build a pyramid and tell us how the pyramid was built. But you can't. You can't tell us how none of this ancient information that y'all talking about, you can't tell us how none of it works. Because none of it was given to you. You're going about what you read, what somebody told you. None of it comes from how you live, because it's not you. You've been right here, the so-called Negro in America, going on 500 years. I can accept that, just like I can accept death, as death comes to all men. I can accept the reality of it. So what? It's not where you come from. It's about where you're going. I'm proud. And then you got the nerve to talk about you proud of Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey, but you put Egypt and you put ancient Ethiopia, you put all the other stuff over them. I'm not going to do that. It's nice to know. It's nice to know. I'm not going to put ancient Egypt over Malcolm X. I'm not putting ancient Egypt over Malcolm. I'm not putting Timbuktu or none of that African stuff or nobody over my own people. I'm not doing it. You can do it because you think you're them. Keep telling yourself that lie. Malcolm is me. Harriet Tubman is me. Martin King is me. Coretta is me. Betty Shabazz is me. Fannie Lou Hamer is me. That's me. I'm proud of me. Paul Robeson is me. They lived and they suffered for me. They didn't suffer and die in Kemet for me. They didn't suffer and die in Africa for me. Malcolm and these died and suffered for me. And I live to make them proud and to carry on their legacy. So they're not forgotten. And they need to be shown appreciation for us being here today. We're not here because of ancient Egypt and all this other stuff that y'all talking about. We're here because of people like Brother Malcolm, Elijah Muhammad, Noble Drew Ali, and others. Known and unknown. When I talk about our people, I'm talking about people that we know and those who we don't know, because Malcolm couldn't do it by himself. Malcolm had help. Dr. King had help. Harriet Tubman had help. Everybody has help. They didn't do it all by themselves. We as a people, some of us who are the leaders, we made this happen. Everybody is not a leader, but we need more leaders. Most of y'all are followers. So in this age of reality, the leadership needs to step up. Those of you who come and listen to me on this platform, you need to step up. We need to step up because we're the leaders. You have your same mind. They don't have a same mind. They are living in these delusional worlds. It's our responsibility to lead because we're the thinkers. We have the vision. They don't. They're looking for the Messiah. They're looking for the Savior. And right now they are following false messiahs, false saviors. When they see the right leader pop up and they see the right thing going on, they will come. What's that old saying? If you build it, they will come. But if the leadership, if you that pitiful, you want to brag that you are so smart and you're a free thinker, but you're a slave just like them. You're not living no better. You're not doing no better. You're doing the same thing. Matter of fact, I question what kind of free thinker you really are. If you can sit around here and tolerate this madness 24 hours a day, what kind of free thinker are you? And we're not challenging the false prophets, as they say in religion. These false prophets need to be challenged. These false prophets, these false messiahs and saviors need to be challenged. Push them out the way so we as a people, we can grow into our uniqueness and show yourself that you're worthy of praise. You're worthy of honor. You don't have to get honor off of somebody else's leftovers. You don't need nobody. I don't want nobody else leftovers. Kemet, that's nice. I don't want your leftovers. The Arab Muslim world, that's nice. I'm not interested in your leftovers. Christianity and these gods, whatever. If I want a God, I can create my own God. I can reach out to the universe. Give me my own God. I don't need Jesus. I don't need Allah. I don't need Yahweh and all that. That's for somebody else. If God was really with us, God should give us our own prophet. God should give us our own name for God. Instead of giving us scraps and leftovers. I don't want your scraps and your leftovers. Some of us don't eat leftovers. We don't like leftovers. I don't want your leftovers. But when it comes to religion, when it comes to these ideologies, I'm an RBG nation. How old is that? 100 years? I'm a nation of Islam. How old is that? 90 years? I'm a Noble Jew Ali. That's 100 years. We love people leftovers, old stale stuff. You're not ready for something good, warm, hot, right out the oven. Soul is giving you something hot, good, right out the oven. No more leftovers for you. No more leftovers for me. Fresh food, good food. No more leftovers. 5,000-year-old leftovers, 100-year-old leftovers, 1,000-year-old leftovers. That's some pretty hard digestion to me. And that's what you see. It's hard to digest because you should not be eating that. That was for that time. It's over. It's done. Let the dead lie. Let the dead rest in peace. I love Brother Malcolm. He can't do nothing for me. Love Marcus Garvey. Can't do nothing for me. Dr. King, and the list goes on and on. I love all of them. They cannot do nothing for me. Learn from their mistakes. Learn for yourself. Use your own mind. Make steps forward so the generation behind you can move easier. You cannot do that on the backs of dead people because their time is over. They did what they did in their time. This is your time. Their time is over. You are the Malcolm X. You are the Harriet Tubman. You are the Marcus Garvey. You are. But don't be them. Because you can be better. You can be just as good or greater than them. You got to get out the box, this rigid form of thinking. That's our problem. Learn how to love yourself. And all these things, it's just not us. They are not proper labels. They're not proper labels. But you are ashamed. I ain't going from no slave. Okay. How do you live right now? Do you produce food, clothing, and shelter for yourself? No. When you make a move, do you have to ask another man for permission? Yes. Sound like a slave to me. Can you just leave the country? Don't get a passport? You have to ask another man, sir, can I get a passport? Take a picture and go to Africa? You got to ask another man. That's your homeland that you claim. You have to ask another man permission to go home. But you shame of being a child of a slave, but you still acting like one. If Africa is your homeland, you can go whenever the hell you please. What the hell you don't need a passport for what? I'm going home. But you are under the rule of another man, of other people. And then the sad thing about it is when you go to Africa, when you go home, they are going to ask you, where's your passport? You don't have a passport, sending you back. But I thought that was your home. How are they going to send you home? Because it's not your home. It's not your home. This is the only home we know. Just like that little girl, which became a young woman, that kidnapper, that was the only home she knew. This is all that we know. In the future, we can get to know Native American culture. We can get to know African culture because we know we're not Europeans. We know that. This is a fact. We know that. But this is a relationship that you just can't move fast like that. They have no respect for you when you cannot do nothing for yourself. You cannot produce food, clothing, shelter. The only thing you are is a parasite. You can sing and you can dance, play basketball or whatever, you can rap. That don't help people. They need folks who know how to build roads, those who can take advantage of the resources and so forth and so forth. So you need to put yourself in a better position. This is why I say and advise us about the Operation Exodus Mississippi, the Mississippi campaign, because it gives you an opportunity to control things, to learn how government is controlled, about infrastructure, about nation building, everything. Put yourself in a position where you can produce things for yourself, food, clothing, and shelter for this one geographical area. Because if you can't do it in a place where you know where you live, where you was born for generations, how are you going to do it in Africa? You can't. And you can't even do it right here where you've been going on 500 years. It's impossible. That's fantasy teaching. That's a fantasy, fairy tale thinking. It's not going to happen. So I'm proud to say I'm soul brother number one. Y'all want to talk about I'm a god and a warrior and a goddess and all this stuff. I'm proud to say I'm soul brother number one because my ancestor gave it to me. James Brown, the Godfather, soul brother number one. None of you wanted the title because it's not good enough for you. It's good enough for me. I'll take the title. I will raise soul to where it needs to be and bring back the uniqueness and the proudness of us as a people. I don't want to copy nobody. I don't want to be an African. I want to be no Aboriginal, nothing. I want to be me. During the height of soul power, people all over the world want to have soul. Give me some soul. I wish I had some soul. I want to be soul. There was a group called Hall and Oates, two Caucasian guys. They were called blue-eyed soul brothers. folks wanted that title. They wanted to have some soul too. They wanted some swag. When you got soul, when you got swag, see, our young brothers don't understand what it means to have soul. So they have women problems. They think just get a job, get an education, and have a pretty car, all the women flock. See, when you got soul, so see, when brothers have soul, you just got that swag. And you don't have to have a dime in your pocket. Don't have to, ain't that right, Terry? Don't have to have a dime in your pocket. It's just how you carry yourself. You carry yourself with energy. You carry yourself with high self-esteem. That's what we had to have. I told you it's natural in us because we had to be better in this country. So everything we did, even chasing women, you just can't go out and just run a lame line. You got to puff it up. Got to give it some fire. You got to give it some soul. The poor young brothers don't have any soul. And they upset. Well, I got money. I don't smoke. I don't drink. Why do women don't like me? And the people that you call thug, the brothers that you call thug, they know how to use that part of them, that energy in them. Yeah, they messed up. They're not a good catch, but they know how to use that part of themselves. Your education has made you a robot. Your education has made you rigid. See, most of these brothers don't have education. So they just let their nature flow. And so they have the women, and you get mad and make 20,000 YouTube videos where a black woman do this and the feminism and blah, blah, blah. And that's what we have. Because you don't have your soul. This is the age of reality. Keep coming back here, join me as long as I can. Let's get our soul back. Let's learn how to love ourselves. Let's learn how to love ourselves first. We come first. Has nothing to do with hatred, has nothing to do with bias against nobody else. If you don't love yourself, how can you love anybody else? We want to love us. Show these women that we can provide, that we can protect, and give them something they can be proud of. Teach the children. Instead of these fairy tale stories. Well, when we was kings, when we was gods, what if you was that? Was is the key word. Nobody care about your paycheck from last week. Are you getting paid this week? Nobody cares about what you did then. I did a lot of things when I was younger. I I can't do them the way I used to do. Nobody cares about what you did then, 5,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago, blah, blah, blah. Care about what you're doing now. And what you're doing now is not making the grade. What you're doing now is really pathetic. We as a people are a bunch of losers. But you shame to be a descendant of a slave. My history didn't start with no slave. But look at your condition. Your condition don't show that you have a higher history because you still act like a slave. You produce no food, clothing, and shelter. You don't do a damn thing for yourself. The only thing we do, run around here wasting hours and hours talking about Umar Johnson. Umar Johnson ain't building a school. Who cares? Why don't you build one? All the resources, all the time these people are wasting on Umar Johnson. Why don't you get together and build the school that Umar Johnson you knew he never was going to build. Why don't y'all do that? That would be too much like right, because you're a slave. The only thing you want to do is sit around and gossip and slander, watch YouTube videos and make more babies, and eat and get fatter. That's all you're interested in, because you're a slave. A Kemetic slave. A Nation of Islam slave. Don't get angry at me. That's you. I don't want to do that. But I can't do the work by myself. Just like Malcolm couldn't do the work by himself. Nobody can do the work by themselves. But I'm surrounded by people that don't want to do nothing. Hey, so what can I do? There's nothing I can do about it. Except keep talking. Maybe the message might reach the right people who are sick and tired and say, hey, I've tried everything. I'm willing to give you a try, man. Let's do this. And we are not going to talk about Umar Johnson. We're going to build the school that Umar Johnson is supposed to build. We're not going to talk about Louis Farrakhan. We're going to do what Louis Farrakhan should have done 40, 50 years ago. Why waste time talking about Farrakhan and Umar Johnson and Brother Polite and all these other scammers? Get yourself together, get your resources, get yourself together and do. Since clearly they're not doing the job, then show them how it's done. Problem is you don't know what to do yourself, except beg the white man. You're gonna wait, you waiting on the white man to give you the vaccine for the coronavirus because you scared to die. And you locked up in your house, scared to go to the store, scared to do anything because of the coronavirus. If we had the state of Mississippi, that would be my excuse to keep people out, saying, hey, we got a lot of coronavirus here, to give us an opportunity to get our act together and make some moves. The other suckers don't want to come and bother you because the coronavirus is in here. The coronavirus will be like the guard dog, keep all the other heathens out. See, you're a bunch of losers. You just want to complain. You really don't want to solve the problem. You want to stay in the problem because you don't want to accept the responsibility for yourself. Nation of Islam, all this pro-blackness stuff, they don't want to solve the problem. Because if you solve the problem, what is it left for them to do? Also, if the Mississippi campaign solved the problem, then it also shows that everything they've been teaching us all this time was bull doo-doo. And they don't want you to see that. Some people are ashamed. They don't want to deal with the reality of things. I wouldn't care as long as it worked. They looking out for their pride. I don't want that to be successful because it's going to make them look bad because they've been telling you to do it a certain way for all this time, which it's not working. Then all of a sudden, you do this for a few minutes and you can see your progress. Not believe in it. Not believe in it. You can see your progress. And if it's not working, then we should be humble enough to say, hey, this is not working the way I thought it would be. We got to go to plan B or C or something. It's not working. But see, you're dealing with people who are not humble. They're arrogant. They're a bunch of know-it-alls and don't have a pot to piss in. Too ashamed to say, look, it's not working. It's not working. They would rather you die. They would rather you suffer. And you want to keep following this mentality. I can't do it no more. I done it when I was a child. I will not do it as an adult. I'm not going to do it. You and I deserve better. We deserve to be winners, not losers. I want to be a winner for real. I don't want nobody telling me, oh, well, you know, number 2 is good and blah, blah, blah. You made a good effort. No, I want to be a winner. I want to be number 1. I want that NBA ring on my finger. I want to be number 1. Real. I don't want to hear about what somebody did 5,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 100 years ago, 50 years. No, I want to create history instead of learn about it all the time. I want to create history. All these people you follow, what history have they created? Nothing. They take your money, you give to the super chat, you give all your money and time with them. What history are they making? What are they actually doing for you? Nothing. Because they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do anyway, except hustle you and make you feel good. The same thing a drug dealer do. Same thing a prostitute do. Hustle you, make you feel good, and they go on about their business. If you can't give them any money, they don't want nothing to do with you. It's simple as that. So I would advise and I suggest that a beautiful label for us that we created. It did not come from Africa, did not come from the Native Americans, it did not come. It's us as a people, our natural evolution in this country, expressing our own uniqueness, our own soul, brothers and sisters. And matter of fact, I said this in conclusion, matter of fact, under this umbrella of soul, nobody did, to my knowledge, nobody had a problem with it. You could be a black Muslim, you could be Kemetic, you could be a Moor. Everybody was under soul. Nobody had no problem with it. I heard nobody talk about, I ain't no soul this. But you hear people talk, I ain't no African, I ain't no Aboriginal, I ain't no Moor. I never heard people say, I don't have soul. That's not me. And you can still be Kemetic. You can still be metaphysical. You can still be a Moor and a Hebrew Israelite. But we need one identity that we can rally under to say, this is what we are as a people. We got soul. The same way that you would say, I'm an American. And when you talk about Americans, all kinds of Americans, but they under one umbrella. We got soul. And everybody under one umbrella. And we determine what defines that. Nobody else. I love it myself. I love it. I find great pride in saying I'm soul brother number 1. So on that note, I want to thank you for listening. Went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but y'all y'all hung, you hang with me, and I appreciate it. It's an honor coming before you and speaking with all of us. And I thought I was going to have some trouble in the chat room, but I guess they decided I started to make a little sense. I make a little sense. Give me a chance. I mean, just think about it. It's not all that bad. I know that the things that I'm saying to you sound strange and whatever. Just think about it. Just think about it. Don't, oh, I don't like that. You never tried it yet. Well, I already know I don't like it. But you never tried. How do you know that you don't like something until you try it? But you do have people. I don't like spinach. Have you tried it? No. And then you can cook spinach in many, many kinds of ways. You don't have to eat spinach this way. There's all kinds of ways that you can eat spinach. Well, I know I don't like spinach. I was that way. I was that way about potatoes and beets. Now I love potatoes and beets. It was a Jamaican sister. She said, what is it that you don't like? I said, I don't like potatoes and I don't like beets. She said, when I cook these potatoes and beets, you're going to like them. I said, look, really, lady? I do not. Let me tell you something, Miss Jamaican lady. I do not like potatoes. I do not like beets. That Jamaican sister threw down. Though, I mean, I don't know what she done, but she made me like potatoes and beets. And I heard beets are good for your blood. So I like beets. But we never know if we like something until we try it. Just because I said, oh, we shouldn't be African, we shouldn't be Aboriginal or Black Muslim, just because I said stuff like that, you automatically reject. You don't even want to taste. But this could be the very thing that could save our lives as a people. And how do you know that it's not coming from God? It says in the Holy Quran that Allah chooses whom he pleases. It did not say that Allah chooses the Black Muslims or the Muslims to do such and such, such and such. I heard that God can use the devil if he wants to. So how do you know if God is not using me to bring this message to us for whatever reason? Because you cannot comprehend the wisdom of God. You said it yourself. How do you know God is not causing me to bring this message for us? How do you know? Why don't you take a taste? Why don't you try? Why don't you really think about what is being presented? Because in order to gain unity, we have to move under one identity. We have to move under one umbrella. And personally, I really don't care what it is. If we want to be Africans, hey, I'm cool. If you want to be Aboriginal, cool. If the 40 million want to be Hebrew Israelites, hey, however y'all want to do it, as long as we get the job done, come together under one umbrella and make the move and progress. Personally, I don't trip off of that. I don't care. As long as the job get done. I would be look, if the Hebrew Israelites wanted to take control of the state of Mississippi, I'm on board. Call me a Hebrew. You can call me a Hebrew Israelite tonight. But I'm going to be the realist Hebrew Israelite. If the Black Muslims want to do it, hey, I'm on board that train. As long as the job get done, I'm not tripping off of it. Because I'm not looking for myself. It's not about me. It's about what is in the best interest of us as a people. And we're running out of time. Time is not on our side. We need to get something going, get something done. It's not about what I want personally. And see, that's another thing. Soul power has nothing to do with your personal religion or your ideology or nothing. It's just an identification for a group of people that come up out of similar circumstance, no more, no less. That's it. So on that note, let me get out of here. Thank y'all for joining me these 2 hours. Appreciate it. And I really enjoy your company. It's always an honor. And share the video, like the video, subscribe, however y'all want to do it. And I appreciate everything that you do. I had technical difficulties on my Facebook, but hopefully I will be able to dump this down to my Facebook. So I want to issue an apology to my Facebook audience. Thank you, Cool Cutter, and return.
start going. Just keep it going.